Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Impact Review for the 19th of January 2021. Overall, it wasn't a bad show, but it does show the disparage between Impact talent and AEW talent, and the trade off between the two is just awkward at this point because obviously people, for the most part, are tuning in for the AEW talent and I don't know that that's good for Impact exclusive talent. Maybe it is in the end, 6 months to a year from now. But right now, it seems like there's going to be a line drawn in the sand. Show opened with a hard to kill recap, ending with Kenny Omega defeating Rich Swann for the six-man main event. Callis, Omega, and the Good Brothers are seen backstage, basically saying they should go back to the hotel and celebrate. This is post the pay per view win. Callis talks about how everyone has insight into the behind the scene plans, and then Callis basically says that they're going to Jacksonville for a while, but to be patient, and um, they'll see how everything plays out. This was a decent promo. I like Callis being a main factor on both the AEW and Impact brands. My challenge is it devalues some of the other manager roles in AEW and actually makes all the other talkers in Impact look weaker by division. Then we go to Eric Young with Violent by Design defeating Rhino with Cousin Jake. This felt really flat. Match itself is fine. Young controls the early portions of the contest, misses an elbow drop, clotheslines by Rhino, and a suplex along the way as well. Goes for the gore. Diener comes into the ring, distracts the ref, leading to Joe Doring tripping Rhino and sending his leg into the ring post. Young takes advantage, locks on a knee bar, and forces a tap out. Should Rhino really be tapping at this point is one question. Another question is Eric Young really a guy you want to build around? Joe Doring to me is fresh in the Impact brand, and I think there's more money and mileage in him. Jake tries to make the save, but Violent by Design beats him down. Young grabs a chair, does the old Pillman thing. Rhino um, is screaming in the middle of the ring. Angle is fine. The angle itself is fine, but it feels flat. Impact World Champ Rich Swann and Moose head backstage at or are backstage at the after the main event. An interview asks about the match. Moose attacks Swann, leaves him laying, says he fulfilled his promise, and now he's coming for the Impact Championship. AC's backstage with Tommy Dreamer, and they're continuing to investigate who shot Bravo. This is an angle that should have died years ago, um, and then not years ago, but months ago. Feels like years. Um, Good Brothers, Private Party, Sabin, and James Storm do a confrontation. Good Brothers come out. They talk about Hard to Kill. Um, Basically, they said they did what they did when they get together with Omega, and that's make headlines around the world. Said they've been partying since Saturday. They're going to keep the tag titles as long as they want them. Sabin comes out, said the titles belong to the Motor City Machine Guns, and so they lost them. Neither of them were pinned. Sabin sees the Motor City Machine Guns as top contenders. Good Brothers said Alex Shelley isn't there, so while they understand the argument, it doesn't really matter. Um, Sabin says he has no partner. James Storms makes his way out to be the partner to Sabin. He returns to Impact here. Storm cuts a promo on the Good Brothers, saying that he watched the tag titles and is going to team with Sabin to make it happen. That he gets them. Storm's about to finish Matt Hardy's music hit. He comes out with Private Party. He's Big Money Matt. He's back in Impact. He brought Private Party to Impact for a warm-up match for tomorrow night on Dynamite. See, that makes them the Impact brand look Bush League. Hardy takes credit for Impact still being in business because he carried them in 2016. Gee, way to look relevant, Matt. Let's talk about 5 years ago. Hardy also made the point that they never lost the titles either in their script. In some stupid teleportation angle, he says. The Good Brothers noticed that they were two teams in the ring and wanted a shot at them, so maybe they should wrestle with the winner getting a shot at the titles. This is fine. I mean, I don't. In theory, I wish they'd done a team better than Private Party. Although, you know what? Daniels and Kazarian. You could have brought Daniels and Kazarian back to Impact, gotten a pop, split the crowd because Impact is kind of going back to its glory days, but they cheer for the current Impact stars because. I mean, that you could have done. Hardy and Private Party, it certainly was unexpected. Um, and then Matt Cardona's backstage. He talks about how he's here at Impact to get a new opportunity and wanted to put everybody else first. He looks like a geek. New tag team champions in the women's division, Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, make plans for the new Fire and Flavor Festival, inviting Dashwood, who refuses to come. Johnny Swinger shows up and creeped them out. Fallah Bahh claimed he was owed money, but they said he would be better off joining them. For the festival, Brian Myers walks in, refuses to go to the festival, and then challenge Bahh to a match. Kimberly and Susan defeat Jordana Grace and Jazz. I actually like the angle of this. I do not necessarily, though, like the in-ring work. It was lacking something. Lee drives Grace into the corner, hits her with some strikes. They go to the break. The action spills to the floor. They come back. Lee is getting the heat again on Grace. They keep her cornered. Grace makes a comeback, hits a Vader bomb. Jazz comes in, hits a DDT on Susan, but then Lee makes the save. Knockouts challenge. Deanna Purrazzo jumps in, hits Jazz with a weak-looking belt shot, and Susan gets the win. I hope that Purrazzo gets a chance to work with Jazz. I think that would be good for business. Taya Valkyrie is backstage, and she's confronted by Bravo, who said she's the one that shot him. Tommy Dreamer confronted her and found her fingerprints and admitted doing it. And she says that she did this to save Rosemary from marrying Bravo. Security drags her away. Tommy Driver says that if she's lucky, she'd be taken to Jacksonville Penitentiary. And then I guess it's an AEW reference. If she's unlucky, she'd be going to Stanford Prison. And that's obviously a WWE reference for 2 years with an option for a third. This was actually probably the most relevant and funny Dreamer's been in a while. Valkyrie's taken away. Rosemary meets her and asks her why Valkyrie claimed she was protecting her, and they hugged. So Tony Khan and Jerry Lynn are backstage. They have a paid advertisement for Dynamite. Khan said he wanted to see the match between Private Party and Storm and Sabin live. He said he'd deliver the money for the ad next week. Rich Swann and Moose face off. This is really an angle-heavy show. Impact World Champ comes out, talks about how Omega wasn't there tonight. He had a free night and wanted to fight Moose. Moose comes out, said he wants a title shot. Swann pointed out he's trying to give him a shot and wanted to fight right now. Moose refused, saying that he controls the term, and then they started brawling. This was fine, although the whole Moose filling in at the pay-per-view and then fighting 3 days later is stupid to me. Rohit Raju gets a rematch against TJP. Scott D'Amore comes out from backstage. Raju is upset. The TJP is holding the championship. TJP walks out with title. Raju yells about not being able to get a title shot, and he's violated by all of this. Raju does get the title shot, and he leaves happy. D'Amore wonders if he'd be happy if he knew it was a non-title match. So basically, they're just drawing that storyline out. It feels flat too. Steels and Hogan are backstage, finalizing plans for their Fire and Flavor Festival next week. Nevaeh and Havoc, who they beat for the championships on Saturday, show up asking for platinum tickets. Steels and Hogan told them to take the copper package and sit at home and watch on TV. This was, I guess. Brian Myers defeated Falaba. This is a waste of time and energy, especially a guy as talented as Myers. Um, Myers gets a win after a low blow. There's absolutely nothing to the match, and it just falls flat. Ace Austin's backstage. He's talking about how he should have been the focus of the pay-per-view and that no one wants to see guys like Josh Alexander. Alexander shows up and gets into it with both guys. They get into a brawl. Fulton helps Austin beat him down. Cardona runs in to make the save. At least they're trying to put new stories into motion. Eddie Edwards is backstage. He's being looked at by doctors. Myers comes in, demands the doctor look at him because Falaba pokes him in the eye. Edwards stands up and challenges him to a match. That at least gives something meaningful for Myers to do. Myers and Edwards could be good. Main event, actually, before we get there, next week is set to be Matt Cardona, Josh Alexander, Ace Austin, Madman Fulton. That could be decent. Joe Doring and Cousin Jake, at least Doring's on TV. Dashwood and Rosemary, hopefully Rosemary goes over, and the Fire and Flavor Festival, I guess is gimmick enough. Anyway, Private Party with Matt Hardy defeats Sabin and Storm to earn a tag team title shot. Match is joined in progress. Cassidy and Sabin in ring. They exchange arm drags and other holds. Quinn tags in and has an advantage over Sabin. Hits him with the camel clutch double stomp combo to the back of the head. Basically the old Mario mushroom stomp deal. Sabin tags out Storm. Private Party hits the silly string on Storm. Storm spills the outside. Lynn and Khan make their way to ringside. They take seats in the front row. Khan taking notes throughout the match. Private Party uses heel tactics. Storm tries to stay in control. Matt Striker on commentary. By the way, Striker is better than anyone on the WWE brand. Better than Excalibur. Please tell me that we can just eventually do a trade where Matt Striker comes in and replaces Excalibur on Dynamite. I'll eat a chocolate-covered cockroach if they do this. Whatever it takes to get rid of Excalibur, I'm all for. Anyway, Striker, kind of plays like he doesn't necessarily know who Private Party are a little bit. Storm backdrops Cassidy. Cassidy lands on his feet, tags Quinn. Sabin manages to tag into, hits Tornado DDT. Sabin gets a near fall, manages to not hold the man down though. Storm drags Cassidy to the floor. Sabin gets another near fall with a sunset flip. And then there's a lung blower from Storm. Cassidy goes for Twist of Fate on Sabin. Sabin continues with the vertical suplex. Quinn hits a Fosbury flop onto the floor. Hardy distracts the referee. Lynn grabs Sabin's feet, holding him in the middle. Turnbuckle, Private Party, then hits the Gin and Juice for the pinfall, earning a tag team title shot in the future. Good Brothers come down, faced off with Private Party. Storm and Sabin attacks, and all three teams broke into a brawl, going off the air. I mean, I don't know. I certainly hope that the Good Brothers hold the championships for a while, and Private Party is not the team that I would use to represent AEW, but for what it was, and if this is the way it had to go, I guess it was booked fine enough. enough. Again, not a fan of the long-term aspect of using Private Party as anything other than enhancement talent, which is what they really are. But anyway, this was decent enough. But AEW Dark Review is up. Dynamite and NXT will be up tonight or tomorrow. Till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.